Have you ever failed badly, faced rejection, or watched something you worked on for months suddenly fall apart? In moments like these, most people break. The world feels like it's collapsing in on you. Every ounce of effort feels wasted, and all that remains is the heavy weight of failure. I understand that feeling. I've stood in that place myself, questioning my worth, doubting whether I was truly capable. But what if these moments aren't the end of your story? What if they're the beginning? This is where real strength is forged. The Stoics believed adversity isn't something to escape from, but something to confront. They understood that deep within struggle, growth is waiting. Every hardship carries the potential to make you stronger, wiser, and more resilient. The difference between those who collapse and those who rise isn't luck or circumstance. It's response. It's the ability to sit with discomfort, to reshape setbacks into stepping stones, to turn pressure into power. If you're ready to commit to personal growth and walk the Stoic path of strength and wisdom, take a moment to subscribe, not as a habit, but as a decision to become better. Now think back to that moment, the instant when your effort was met with rejection or failure. It hurts, doesn't it? That sharp feeling as if everything you worked for was torn away in seconds. It's easy to believe that rejection is a verdict on your value, that it defines who you are. But this is where many people lose their way. We confuse the event, the rejection, the failure, with our identity. And that mistake can quietly destroy us. The Stoics saw this clearly. They knew life will always deliver obstacles, rejection, and disappointment. But none of these things decide who you are. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you respond to it that matters." Rejection is not a judgment. It is simply an event. And events have no power unless you give it to them. So when life pushes you back, don't see it as an ending. See it as a lesson, a test. Ask yourself, what is this moment trying to teach me? What strength is being revealed right now? The pain of rejection is unavoidable, but it is temporary. With time, the sting fades, and what remains is growth. Rejection is a moment, not an identity, not a definition of who you are. The Stoics understood this deeply. They refused to let external events decide their inner strength. They understood that allowing the opinions of others to dictate their sense of self-worth was a mistake. They knew their true value came from within, not from external validation. So the next time you face rejection, ask yourself this: how can this make me stronger? How can I rise from this moment with greater resilience? This is the Stoic way, turning every challenge into a stepping stone for growth. Yet many of us fall into a cycle of self-doubt when rejection appears. We begin to question ourselves, to doubt our abilities, and to let a single experience define us. But here is the truth. The longer you allow rejection to control your emotions, the longer it holds power over you. The key is transformation. Instead of letting the pain erode your confidence, use it as fuel for growth. Remember, what others think or say about you does not define who you are. It is your response to their judgments, your ability to stand firm in the face of adversity, that shapes your character. In the end, rejection is an opportunity to practice resilience, to strengthen your resolve, to rise stronger than before. The Stoic path is not about avoiding rejection. It is about embracing it, learning from it, and using it to move forward. Life will always bring setbacks, but how you respond to them determines the direction of your journey. Rejection only defines us if we allow it to. It is simply a part of life, a part of the journey that teaches us powerful lessons about our own strength. Every obstacle, every rejection, each one is a step toward becoming the best version of yourself. The Stoics believed every challenge was an opportunity to grow, and the same remains true for you. So the next time rejection comes knocking, remember this: it is not the end of the road. It is the beginning of a new chapter in your journey toward becoming unshakable. The pain of rejection can feel overwhelming in the moment, but it is fleeting. What truly matters is how you respond. Do not let rejection define you. Use it as a tool for growth. as a challenge to rise above, as a stepping stone toward deeper resilience. Real growth does not happen in comfort. It does not happen when life is easy or when nothing challenges you. Growth happens in discomfort, when you face what scares you, when you confront the limits that push you forward. Think about it. How often have you grown during the easy moments? And how often during the hard ones? That is exactly what Stoicism teaches us. The path to wisdom, virtue, and strength is found through overcoming hardship. Think of it as weight training for the soul. The more you willingly embrace discomfort, the stronger your resilience becomes. Every time you choose to face something difficult, a hard conversation with a friend, or pushing through physical exhaustion at the gym, you are strengthening your mental muscles. You are training your mind to meet the next challenge with greater control and confidence. Over time, what once felt unbearable becomes just another obstacle you know you can overcome. Choosing comfort is easy. Staying in safe, familiar spaces is tempting, places where you don't have to stretch yourself. But the truth is this: nothing truly meaningful is built in comfort. Success, growth, and wisdom all require stepping beyond what feels safe and familiar. You don't grow stronger by staying where you are. You grow stronger by challenging yourself, by pushing through the resistance that stands in your way. At first, this may feel counterintuitive. After all, we all crave comfort and security. And yes, we do. But the Stoics understood something essential. Comfort can be a trap. It feels safe, but it keeps you small. It prevents you from realizing your full potential. When you consciously choose discomfort, you are choosing growth. You are saying, I'm ready for more. I'm willing to face whatever comes. It is through this willingness that real transformation happens. When discomfort becomes your ally, your perspective shifts. Challenges stop feeling like threats. They become opportunities to expand your capacity, to test your limits, and to grow beyond who you were. The more you push yourself, the more you discover how capable you truly are. Discomfort becomes a tool that shapes you into someone stronger and more resilient. That doesn't mean discomfort isn't painful. It is, but it is also temporary, and it is necessary. As Carl Jung once said, I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become. The pain of discomfort fades. The strength you gain from facing it remains. Every time you rise to the challenge, every time you push through resistance, you create a stronger version of yourself. One decision, one challenge, one moment at a time. Now think about the things that scare you. The difficult conversations, the demanding situations, the goals that feel just beyond your reach. Instead of avoiding them, ask yourself, what would it look like to step into them? What would change if, rather than running from fear, you leaned in and said, I can handle this? Every moment of discomfort is an opportunity to grow. And every time you face it, you become stronger. At first, it will feel difficult. That's normal. But just like lifting weights at the gym, the more you do it, the easier it becomes. And soon you'll notice something powerful. The things that once scared you no longer hold the same power over you. You begin to rise above them. Learn to embrace discomfort as a sign that you are on the right path, that you are moving forward, evolving, and growing. And that is when the shift happens. That is when you begin to see the world differently. Not as a place filled with obstacles, but as a field of opportunities. Opportunities to expand, to evolve, and to become more than you ever imagined. The Stoics understood this better than anyone. They did not shy away from life's difficulties. They faced them with courage, knowing that on the other side of hardship awaited something greater. They didn't run from discomfort. They welcomed it because they knew it was the gateway to strength, wisdom, and virtue. This is the lesson they left behind. True growth does not come from avoiding what is hard, but from choosing it again and again. So the next time life places a challenge in your path, don't retreat. Don't allow fear to dictate your actions. Lean into the discomfort. Embrace it. Because when you do, you're not merely surviving. You're thriving. Each time you choose discomfort, You invest in your own resilience. You build the strength that will carry you through even the most difficult moments. And the more often you do this, the clearer it becomes. You are capable of far more than you once believed. When things go wrong, the instinct to assign blame appears quickly. They didn't do this. It was their fault, we tell ourselves. Blame feels natural, especially when situations spiral beyond our control. It creates distance from failure, making it feel less personal. But this is where a critical mistake is often made. When we focus on blame, we give up the one thing that has the power to change everything: ownership. The Stoics did not fixate on the failures of others. They asked a far more empowering question: what is my responsibility in this situation? Taking ownership does not mean punishing yourself or falling into self-blame. It means recognizing that while you cannot control everything that happens to you, you can always control how you respond. This shift in perspective returns power to where it belongs: in your hands. It is the acceptance that no matter what happens, you are the one who decides what comes next. And once you truly embrace this, it becomes one of the most freeing realizations of your life. When you take responsibility, you stop seeing yourself as a passive observer in your own story. You stop waiting for circumstances to change or for others to fix what feels broken. Instead, you recognize that you have the ability to shape what happens next. This is where real empowerment lives, not in waiting for the world to change, but in changing how you respond to it. In the moment you claim ownership, everything shifts. You stop being a victim of circumstance and begin becoming the architect of your future. Marcus Aurelius captured this truth perfectly when he wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This is the essence of ownership: taking command of your thoughts, your actions, and your inner world, your reactions. No matter what the external circumstances may be, when you take responsibility, you're not only owning your mistakes or failures, you're also claiming ownership of your success, your growth, and your potential. This shift in perspective changes how you view every challenge. Instead of seeing failure as something to fear or avoid, you begin to see it as an opportunity, a moment to learn something meaningful about yourself. In life, it's easy to fall into the habit of blaming others or circumstances when things go wrong. Pointing out what others did or failed to do can feel comforting, at least temporarily. But the truth is, blame keeps you stuck. It traps you in a cycle of helplessness, waiting for someone else to fix what feels broken. The moment you take ownership, that cycle ends. You stop waiting for others to change the direction of your life. You realize that you are the one in control. That is where real power exists. Not in what others do, but in what you choose to do with what you've been given. Taking ownership doesn't mean doing everything alone. It doesn't mean ignoring the impact of other people's actions or denying life's challenges. It means you stop waiting for things to magically improve. You stop allowing circumstances to decide your fate. Instead, you begin searching for ways, big or small, to improve the situation. This shift in mindset changes everything. It's the difference between being a passive victim and an active participant in your own life. The path to success will always include challenges. But when you take ownership, you gain the ability to navigate those challenges with clarity and control. Failure is no longer something to hide from. It becomes a stepping stone, a lesson meant to be learned. And in the same way, success is no longer seen as luck or chance. It becomes the result of your decisions, your actions, and your resilience. When you take ownership, you unlock your true potential. You begin to see that you already possess what you need to shape your future. In the end, ownership isn't about perfection. It's about accountability. It's about understanding that no matter the situation, you always have the power to choose your response. And that is a power no one can take from you. So the next time things don't go according to plan, look inward instead of outward. Ask yourself, how am I responsible for this? When you take ownership, you free yourself from blame and regret. You step into a place of empowerment, where every setback is an opportunity, and every challenge a chance to grow stronger. That is the power of ownership. And when you embrace it, you begin to realize that you can shape the life you want, one decision at a time. When a setback hits, it's impossible to avoid the surge of emotions that follow: fear, shame, frustration. These emotions can overwhelm you, cloud your judgment, and make it difficult to see clearly. In moments like this, it's easy to spiral into doubt and panic. But here is the truth you must remember. Emotions are temporary and often deceptive. They don't reflect reality. They reflect your reaction to it. And no matter how powerful they feel, they do not have to control you. The Stoics understood this deeply. They knew emotions are like the weather, constantly changing, unpredictable, and often misleading. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself in Meditations that the quality of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. The lesson here is not to suppress emotion, but to prevent fleeting feelings from dictating your actions. The Stoics taught the practice of stepping back and observing. They knew that how we respond to emotion defines us, not the emotion itself. When the storm arrives, the ability to remain calm within the chaos is what makes the difference. Imagine facing a failure, a missed opportunity, a mistake at work, or a relationship falling apart. The first emotional wave hits instantly. The initial reaction is often intense. You feel the full weight of the moment, and your emotions scream that this is the end, that this failure now defines you. But this is where we must pause. Instead of reacting on impulse, we need to step back and evaluate the situation through reason. Ask yourself, what actually went wrong? What are the facts? What can be improved? These questions pull you out of the emotional storm and anchor you in reality. Facts do not lie. They offer clarity. They reveal the path forward. More often than not, it's the smallest adjustments, the subtle shifts in perspective, that create the difference between failure and progress. When emotions take control of our actions, we lose the chance to learn. They cloud judgment and push us toward quick reactions fueled by fear, anger, or disappointment. Facts, on the other hand, are stable. They do not change with the weather of emotion. They remain reliable, consistent, and grounded. When you detach from emotional fog and focus on the actual data of the situation, you place yourself in a position to make wiser decisions. The Stoics mastered this skill. They didn't deny their emotions. They acknowledged them, then moved beyond them to focus on what was real. This is how they remained composed even in the most demanding circumstances. Imagine a high-pressure moment. Your heart races, your thoughts spiral, and panic threatens to take over. This is the moment to slow down, to breathe, to take stock of what is truly happening. Rather than being carried away by emotional waves, you can choose to observe them from a distance, recognizing that they are temporary. That space allows you to act with logic instead of impulse. Detachment from emotion is not suppression. It is the refusal to let emotion control your behavior or distort your judgment. When you separate feelings from facts, you unlock clarity, creativity, and effective problem solving. This is where real strength lies. In acting despite emotion, not because of it. Think of it this way. Emotions are loud, chaotic noise. Facts are the steady rhythm that guides you forward. The more you practice stepping back and assessing reality, the stronger your ability becomes to think clearly under pressure. This is one of Stoicism's core teachings. Our response to adversity matters far more than the adversity itself. Emotions may rise and fall like waves, but you are the anchor, steady and unmoved, refusing to be thrown by the storm. As you face challenges in your life, remember this: you are more than your emotions. They are real, yes, but they are not permanent, and they do not define you. What defines you is how you handle them. Do you allow fear to choose for you? Or do you face the situation with clarity, focused on facts and guided by growth? The Stoics believed the highest goal was virtue, a life rooted in wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. These virtues are not swayed by fleeting emotions. They are built on rational thought, steady action, and inner balance in the face of adversity. Emotions can be powerful, but they can also mislead. Do not allow them to chart your course. Let the facts guide you. When setbacks arise, pause, breathe, step back. Ask yourself, what is the truth of this situation? What can I learn from it? When you focus on facts instead of feelings, you position yourself for growth. Every setback, every challenge, every failure becomes a lesson, a chance to adjust, refine, and move forward. This is the power of stepping beyond emotion and trusting the steady guidance of truth. When emotions lead, decisions often harm us in the long run. But when facts guide us, what is real, what is tangible, you regain control. Empower yourself to move forward with clarity and purpose. Remember, emotions are temporary. They rise and fall, but facts remain. And it is the facts that lead you where you want to go. Let Stoic wisdom guide you through the noise. Accept the temporary nature of your emotions and allow facts to shape your decisions. We all dream of the life we want, the perfect career, the perfect relationship, the ideal version of success. We imagine ourselves at the top, having everything we've ever desired: happiness, stability, fulfillment. But here is a truth that is often overlooked. Dreams are never free. There is always a price. The Stoics understood this clearly. They knew that every choice carries a cost. Whether we like it or not, wanting something means being willing to give something up. It might be time, comfort, even relationships. Nothing of value comes without sacrifice. The idea of sacrifice makes many people uncomfortable. We like to believe we can have everything in balance without letting go of anything meaningful. But reality doesn't work that way. If you want to achieve something great, if you want to reach meaningful goals, sacrifice is unavoidable. The Stoics taught that commitment without sacrifice is only fantasy. You can dream endlessly, but without real, tangible sacrifice, those dreams remain just ideas. It is the willingness to let go, to make difficult choices, that turns dreams into reality. This is where discomfort begins. The Stoics knew that true commitment requires honest questions, questions that are not easy to answer. What am I truly willing to endure to reach my goals? This is not a question to take lightly. It demands reflection at the deepest level, an examination of what truly matters to you. Are you willing to sacrifice your time, the late nights, the early mornings, the comfort of the couch, for the discomfort pursuit? Maybe it means sacrificing time with friends or family in the short term to build something that brings long-term fulfillment. The reality is simple. Something must be given up in order to move forward. Success does not arrive by chance. It requires effort, focus, and above all, sacrifice. The Stoics did not view sacrifice as a burden. They saw it as an essential part of the process. Seneca emphasized this in his writings when he spoke about giving up certain comforts for a higher purpose. He reminded us, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. This is a powerful truth. Time is the one resource we can never recover. Every minute spent on one thing is a minute taken from another. The real question is this: are you using your time wisely? Are you investing it in the actions that move you closer to your goals, even when it means giving up immediate comfort or short-term pleasure? Sacrifice is not always about material things. Sometimes it means letting go of old habits, old patterns of thinking, even an old version of yourself. It means challenging who you are, pushing past familiar limits, and evolving. Staying in the comfort zone is easy, but growth never happens there. Growth begins when you step outside what feels safe, when you face uncertainty, when you make choices that stretch you. Sometimes that means sacrificing the person you once were to become the person you must become. When you fully commit to something, you also commit to the discomfort that comes with it. That may mean saying no to what holds you back, the security of predictability, the comfort of a stable routine, or even relationships that no longer align with your vision. And this is where the real test appears. How much are you willing to sacrifice? The more you let go, the clearer your priorities become. Distractions fall away. Focus sharpens. Commitment means choosing your path even when it is difficult. It means making sacrifices that lead to something greater over time. This does not mean acting recklessly or abandoning everything at once. It means acting with intention. It means being strategic. Quote is about looking honestly at your goals and deciding what is truly necessary to achieve them. Are you willing to release comfort to create space for the life you actually want? Are you prepared to accept the struggle that comes with it? The road to success is never easy. It is filled with difficult decisions, moments when you will want to quit, when the weight of sacrifice feels overwhelming. But those are the moments that reveal the truth of your commitment. Will you stop, or will you push forward, knowing that every sacrifice brings you closer to what you seek? Carl Jung expressed this perfectly when he said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." Becoming who you truly are requires sacrifice. It demands dedication. It requires unwavering commitment to growth. Without these, your goals remain out of reach. The Stoics embraced sacrifice because they understood that without it, there could be no growth, no evolution, no realization of their full potential. Sacrifice is not something to fear or avoid. It is something to welcome, an essential part of the journey. So as you continue forward, ask yourself, what am I willing to endure to achieve my dreams? The answer to that question will determine more than your success. It will shape the depth of your character. Your willingness to sacrifice is what separates you from the rest. It gives you the strength to continue when things become difficult, and the clarity to understand that no sacrifice is ever wasted. Each one becomes a foundation stone of success. Resilience is not built in one heroic moment. We often imagine strength appearing through a single dramatic act, some grand display of courage or determination. But in reality, resilience is formed through countless small decisions, repeated consistently over time. Every day, in the smallest moments, you are given a choice. Will you show up? Will you push forward? Will you keep going when it feels impossible? These small choices slowly build inner strength. They may feel insignificant in the moment, but when you look back, you'll see how they shaped you into someone unshakable. In Stoicism, this is reflected in the idea of virtue as a daily practice. The Stoics did not believe virtue came from a single heroic act or from waiting for the perfect moment. They understood that wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance are built day by day. It is about choosing the right action every day, even when it's difficult. It is about consistently choosing growth, even when it requires sacrifice, even when you are exhausted, and even when the world makes quitting feel easier. Character is not forged in a single event. It is shaped by the way you live each day. Small actions repeated over time compound into extraordinary results. This is the foundation of true resilience. It is not about waiting for a moment of greatness to arrive. It is about the quiet, often unnoticed steps you take each day that slowly shape your future. Every time you get up when you don't feel like it, every time you choose what is right over what is easy, you reinforce your inner resolve. This is the real work of resilience. It is not glamorous. It is rarely applauded. But it is the steady accumulation of effort that transforms you into someone capable of enduring the hardest challenges. It is easy to feel frustrated by slow progress. We live in a world that celebrates instant results, rapid success, and quick fixes. But real transformation does not happen overnight. It requires time. It requires patience. And it requires the discipline to keep showing up, even when it feels like nothing is changing. This is where many people give up. They assume that because results are not immediately visible, their effort is meaningless. But the truth is this: the small choices you are making right now are adding up. They are shaping who you are becoming. They are preparing you for the challenges ahead. And they are strengthening you in ways you cannot yet see. This is why consistency matters so deeply. When you commit to making small, positive choices each day, those choices begin to compound. It's like building a muscle. You don't see results after a single workout, but over time, those small efforts create real strength. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Obstacles and setbacks are not roadblocks. They are opportunities for growth. The challenges you face are not meant to stop you. They are meant to strengthen you. Every difficulty you encounter is an invitation to build resilience and move closer to your goals. The key to resilience is learning to focus on the process, not the outcome. It's easy to become fixated on the destination, to measure how far you still have to go and feel discouraged by the distance. But resilience is not about perfection. It is about showing up again and again, no matter how you feel, no matter how difficult the journey seems. Every small decision to continue, every moment when you choose to take the next step despite resistance, is a victory in itself. You don't need to be perfect. You only need to keep moving forward, one small step at a time. When you view resilience through the lens of daily action, it becomes less overwhelming. You don't have to change everything at once. You don't need dramatic transformations to see results. The smallest choices matter most. Waking up an hour earlier to work toward your goals. Choosing calm over reaction in moments of stress. Deciding to keep going when quitting feels easier. These decisions shape your character. They build your resilience. It's about aligning your daily actions with your values and your long-term vision. It's about living with intention, even in the smallest moments. One of the most powerful aspects of this mindset is that it makes resilience available to everyone. You don't need to be extraordinary. You simply need to be consistent. No matter where you begin, small positive changes can create lasting transformation. It's not about waiting for the perfect moment. It's not about having everything fall into place. It's about showing up every day and doing the work, no matter how small or insignificant it may feel. True resilience is built from the inside out. It doesn't come from waiting for life to deliver a moment of greatness. It comes from creating greatness through daily choices, by focusing on the process, by committing to actions that align with your values and your goals. You develop the kind of resilience that can withstand anything life throws your way. It is the quiet, consistent effort that shapes you into someone unshakable, someone who faces adversity with clarity and strength. The more you practice this way of thinking, the more natural it becomes. Over time, these small decisions compound, and you begin to see the results. You become someone who doesn't quit when things get difficult, someone who rises after every setback, stronger, wiser, and more determined. The journey to resilience is not defined by one moment of triumph. It is defined by the everyday choices that shape who you are becoming. And with every decision, every action, you move closer to the person you were always meant to be. We've all heard the phrase, failure is the key to success. But have you truly embraced it?